Tables are underground, Civ.
Yeah, no, but usually...
Tables are underground,
What?
Civ.
What?
What?
No, my internet still is shit on rainy days. I don't know why.
Okay. Oh boy, I am echoey as hell. It doesn't matter, I'm not editing this into a video.
Aye.
I will sit where I want.
And do as I please.
I'm always a little suspect of people who use Konosuba girl gifs to respond to things. Alright. Give people like a minute or two to filter in.
Are you making the not so ats for the other
No,
channels?
you can do that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing.
Oh. I thought you asked, are you?
No. I ain't. Okay, pop that out, turn that off, drag this over here, la-di-da-di-do. Oh. Okay, I see.
Alright, I'm gonna go now. Hello, welcome back to Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I honestly have no idea where we are at in terms of this case. Could be halfway, could be not at all. I don't imagine this case being, like, more than this trial, because I don't know where we go to invest. Oh god, I hope not. I hope it's not a 2-day case. We'll find out. We don't know very much about this case, frankly. Edgar Allan Poe from Japan was accused of stabbing a woman. He didn't, as far as we know. That's
We did a
it.
considerable amount of faffing about in a seemingly unrelated location.
Yeah, that's all we know, pretty much. We have not gotten to investigate a crime scene. We basically just fucked around with Sherlock Holmes, his friend Herlock Sholmes, for all of the last time. Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon? You, all day, the previous 24 hours.
We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices.
Thank you, I forgot.
Yes, just in case nobody else forgot. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible.
Well, yes, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing, in which case treating it as research may seem a little crass.
Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right.
Good morning.
Good morning!
Ah, Mr. Natsume. Good morning.
Oh dear, are you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot.
The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain.
Yes, I've heard that expression.
But I really don't want to catch a worm, so I tried desperately not to wake up early. But I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink.
And now I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Do all literary people take things so literally? That is a hard sentence to say.
Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume.
I have no choice.
I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble.
Really? Because I can feel tremors in the floor.
I can't do this. I can't take it. Although, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Yes?
I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London.
Oh, neither did I. Do you know why that might be, Miss Susato?
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea.
So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence then, is it?
Don't hide the truth from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it?
Lord Van Zeeks. Is that right, Miss Susato?
I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one.
I knew it.
Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday.
Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? Oop.
I'm a spooky man.
The trial.
I'm a vampire.
The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Zeeks' return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilded. Oh, what a harrowing experience that was.
I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's.
But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country.
Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they're all speculating various answers.
Mundane! Mundane! It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us!
Oh dear, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume. It's just I didn't quite catch the end of that. But that is how the papers are describing it.
Well, lest we forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention, but there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago.
Yes, I agree.
Mr. Locum Student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, it's you!
Me? Well, I suppose that's true.
Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper!
Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers.
I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck.
Thanks for that.
Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented by a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive!
Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a student, new to London with little in the way of experience or skills, or luck, but I promise you this. I will fight in your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, benevolent locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Sorry.
I can't understand you, sir. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Miss Piggy. I am in your debt forever. I shall know. Okay, Mr. Natsume. Counsel for the defense. The court session is about to begin. Kindly make your way to the courtroom at once.
This guy is in chart is the conductor of a train made of caramel.
Yeah, I was gonna say made of candy. All right. Oh, all right then, Mr. Natsume. It's time. Let's go.
Yes!
Okay.
He shit himself.
Well, might as well get it out of the way now, instead of in the middle of the courtroom.
That is a very optimistic way of looking at things. My second
Not to be
appearance
optimistic.
in a British courtroom, and my second trial against the Reaper.
Ah, there is one other similarity, Mr. Naruhodo. Both trials featured shat pants.
Who shat their pants the first time?
I apologize if my shat pants offend the court.
I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma, because this time I won't let my faith waver. I'll believe in my client to the last, just like you believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight.
Dun dun.
Aram, you should be the judge now.
Please save me, Aram.
Say the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Oh, I hope that fucking Goodnight Moon guy doesn't show up, or else I'll have to somehow differentiate these two old men. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
It would
Just
be...
make the judge a bit more boisterous.
He's
A
Santa.
bit more jovial.
It
Yeah.
would be pretty
Okay.
wild if they didn't show up, but
Yeah, I guess.
it's possible. Such a
The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord.
The defense is ready, my lord.
The Nipponese are truly fascinating breed.
Sorry.
Not even gonna give it a minute, huh, Lord Zeeks? All right, fine.
Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London, but 2 days ago, a mere amateur.
Yes, and I just beat you in the last court, so... Touche. Tushy. Covered in poo.
Tushy, snutter mutter.
Do you have a point?
Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description.
Susanto-san.
After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent.
Don't mind me. Very true. And the most fascinating, if dark, trial it was, too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate, violent end.
Oh boy, we got a new set. Exciting.
Oh.
Oh, is it really new jury every time?
Why wouldn't it be?
I guess that makes
Well,
sense. I don't know. I just kind of assumed they might keep it the same
I'm
for
trying to
sake of animation.
Santa this guy up a bit. You counsels, I see both sides are in fine fashion. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public?
Oh, hi.
You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe it fair play for everyone.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
she is rather cute. I feel like, here, let's just take a look. Let's see what we got and split it up appropriately. Throw a ruthless
Okay.
knife here.
What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fella.
Hello.
It's you, okay.
Okay.
Oh god, what was even her voice for that?
Oh, she was just kind of like this.
Or that it was Newton's voice, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is you, Will, since we know that's her voice.
Oh,
I'm afraid to say, I think it's quite possible that Mustache Fauna did the deed.
Okay. Ooh, hello, Popeye villain. Piff. All right.
I would like to be Piff, please.
Okay. I was like stocky boys last time, so I would like to be the woman if I could this time.
Okay.
Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsumi. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. A knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst, bloody oath they are.
Oh my, looks like I've been accused of a knife crime.
Just look at that sallow complexion and short stature. Oh boy, I picked the wrong one. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
I guess I will be the man at the end.
Can I be this guy if you're gonna?
No,
now, everyone.
no, Civ, stop. Aram's gonna take him. You talked all the way over him.
Come on, let's get this over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Shut up.
Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hallowed chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, lead in the inspector, please.
Hello.
Hey, Gregson.
Your name and occupation, please.
I really like this guy.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? Oh, no! The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green.
Oh. Beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be?
Yes. Having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since.
Ooh, good catch. What? So they don't even know who she is for sure?
Comatose, I see. But her life is not in danger.
Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector. Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map.
I don't want to.
As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago at around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It had not long since stopped snowing. A victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals.
So there's only a 70% chance she'll die, given the everything about the era.
But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far.
You, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.
Real quick, I'm gonna look at that.
Yes.
Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Victim Olive Green, female, stout build, early 20s. Pavement on Briar Road, east side. Reporting officer, Rolly Beat.
Oh my god.
Additional notes. Victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Okay.
What of the weapon that was used? Sir, I have it here. It was removed from the victim's back, which is how that would work, yes.
Yes. I have it here. Holds up the entire victim. Ouch. That big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now.
With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman.
Heavy blade agate. Even the scragged looking Soseki-san, I suppose.
A common or garden jackknife, I would say. Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence.
Evidence.
Let's take a look
Now
at
then,
that. Sorry.
what do we know of the motive? Money or value? Oh,
I'm always
shit.
going to look at these
That's
immediately.
okay.
I've already been burned multiple times by it, so... Oh, it's missing part of the tip.
Switchblade.
Yeah.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo, just at the tip.
Cosimo used to say that to me.
Stop it. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
You're right. Well spotted, Miss Susato.
I wonder what could have happened to it.
Yes. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you?
Oh dear, I do hope not. That sounds terribly painful.
Doesn't look like anything else interesting, but I'll click it just in case. No, I think that's probably it. Not really anywhere else to hide on this knife.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
Okay.
Well then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume?
From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have anything worth pinching, my lord.
I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim?
I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsumi, doesn't appear to get out much. This moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes! Innocent!
That's why he didn't do it!
Well, by Ace Attorney court rules, that means he's innocent.
If theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection.
Ow!
This dipshit! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery.
This guy's literally gonna start murdering people and be like, "Oh, pray forgive the intrusion."
But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. Bouquet?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here.
What?
Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused.
Oh, that's weird.
Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he'd just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him.
Well,
Okay.
would some of the books have belonged to Olive?
Old books, you say?
Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident.
God, she went down.
She gave up, man.
Ah,
She just-
yes. I can clearly see the books to which you are referring. I will take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
Inspector!
Okay.
You Nipponese are us. Yeah, wait, I'll hold my racism.
Right, I can't actually inspect this. I just gotta look at
I'd
it.
like to order one Von Zeke's Hold the Racism.
Impossible, we're fresh out, go away. Pardon the discourtesy. You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeats. Denying
Kill him!
denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary.
Well, I...
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything as you put it.
What are you doing, Miss Susato?
You go on.
Getting his ass. Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now... Was there a that there? Am I blind? Well, now you mention it. Okay. Well, now you mention it. When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what all had happened.
As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a scream and collapsed on the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there, so I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
A green overcoat.
That's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing.
Oh. Oh my, a photographic print in full colour. What will the world come up with next?
The defendant has done nothing more than admit he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he is guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back.
There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman.
I hope it turns out there's like some fucking nut job with a crossbow that shoots knives who, like sniped her.
They just walked over a sewer grate and a man resetted out, stabbed her, and went back down.
A fact that the accused concedes.
It seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, Counsel. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I'll have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance.
Okay.
What the fuck's a chance?
Let's, I'm gonna try pressing on this, because let's talk about the cop who saw this.
Hold it, Mr. Beely or whatever.
Rolly Beat, I think. How are you able to state that with any certainty?
Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us.
Ah, yes. Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he?
That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
That is correct, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm adjusting some volume stuff.
Dun, dun.
Then we must hear their testimony.
The prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand, should it be necessary.
But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen... Shut up.
I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas street lights. The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Right. Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness.
Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to.
It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Okay,
Out of the bloke.
sorry, I'm trying to go back to the beginning. I always forget.
No, you're good, you're good.
I always forgot you gotta right-click it. I'm just gonna press all of these because none of them seem that suspect, so I imagine I might just have to get more information before the game automatically moves forward. Light fog, you say?
Well, like for London, you can see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much further, though.
That's light, is it?
Around these parts, yes. Not something I'd expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course.
I've read that London is famous for its fog, but in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance.
How quaint.
In real life, Britain is as ugly as it is the best.
Are you bragging, or
Racism.
Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate.
I see.
At this time of the year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of the arm.
I'm sorry, I'm
Indeed.
laughing.
The other day, I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling.
Susato-san and I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen.
Stop, drop, and roll.
However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual.
I just pictured on stop. Susato and I should stop, drop, and roll. Them doing the bat rolled, like, over the piano, Batman and Robin slowly rolling through the streets of London.
A fact no doubt lamented by the accused. Grr.
Already pressed that one. Out of the blue, victims. Statement. Hold it! From behind, you say?
That's right. As you can see from this print.
Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. And you see this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition, comatose, no less.
They actually spun her around like a piñata and just...
I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's been treated at Bart's.
Oh, not a fucking bot. She's done for.
I was hopeful that she'd come around before the trial started so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be.
Hang on.
Yes, that is indeed a pity.
Okay, never mind. I was looking at something.
It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems.
On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky.
Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
It's maybe the least racist thing you've said about me yet. Ugh. Okay.
Bum, 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 bum.
Mr. Natsume's belongings.
I think you'll find it's all there in the photographic print of the crime scene.
Yeah.
Yes, the 3 books on the floor.
That's right, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course.
Is the game lagging for Twitch apparently? Yeah, Twitch is having trouble.
It looks like it. I don't know what I can do about that.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's fine now. Yeah,
It's
that happens
interesting, yeah.
sometimes. Which means...
It's not on me. Okay.
his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example.
He's very clever, isn't he?
What do you mean?
He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with the books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there.
You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back?
That must be what happened, my lord, yes.
This is true. He told us this. The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis.
Yes, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature. I commend the accused of the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. The bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books.
Can you please tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector, please?
Well, you're so polite. Well, if I must. Of course, you're fucking Okay, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid.
Please.
Please.
Oh, okay.
The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused's lodgings is this place here, Urban Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Mersham.
I read that as Meep Street somehow.
Meep Street.
As it happens, the accused is currently living in the lodgings on the other side of Briar Road at the opposite end. Which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home. Stab,
I like
goes
the,
home.
The ink line is nice.
Something like this.
Okay. It's probably that then, somehow.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have had passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of a vital importance.
Yes, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made being,
Probably the bookshop's name.
why would it be the name?
Because whatever, because chances are the secondhand books would say where they're from, right? Am I crazy?
They are from...
Yeah, your books.
Your books. You are correct. I actually didn't see that I had that at, I think we got that last time and I forgot about it. Okay.
Good catch.
Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor with a U?
What?
Would you kindly add the name of your bookshop to your formal testimony, please? Your bookshop. Congratulations, new business owner. I believe
Thank you.
I believe it may be of vital importance.
I'm calling it fishing books. It's not good. Working on it.
You know, Bourbon Books isn't great either, in fairness. Oh, well, you know. I mean, yes, it could be a very important clue.
Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance. But please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector.
Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say.
Could the man be any more sardonic? Okay.
Happa, happa, happa.
Okay. Present. Oh, right. I always like think it's double tap. Objection. If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
What is it, sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
This
Want
is
a chip?
This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident, and the details of the purchase of... and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books.
And you found that in the accused's room, did you?
Yeah. Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the bookshop printed on it.
Go on.
This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
Your books? Y-O-R-E, I presume?
Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
Hey, what?
So, what if it's that he accidentally picked up her receipt and he was coming from Bourbon Books, but she was coming from your books?
The receipt specifically says his name.
Oh, it does? Okay. I didn't know that.
Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop?
Yes, sir.
This is pretty basic police work, Gregson. You said you went to the store, dude.
Tut, 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 tut.
Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
You went to the bookstore to ask. Oh, come on, man. This is pathetic. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it.
sorry,
Objection.
The receipt.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, for what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Objection. I disagree. I mean, after all,
I have the street map here, if it might be of help.
Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he almost certainly, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact, I cannot read it all today. If we take into, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location after all.
Could that be true?
My. It rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility.
Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said?
Absolutely. It absolutely could be right.
Oh, it could be right, maybe. It's a strong maybe.
Oh, yes, guilty.
Inspector Gregson, where is this Your Books establishment?
Well, obviously, we looked into that.
Did you?
It turns out that Your Books is just here on the next corner of Meep Street, going east.
I mean, if it were me, I absolutely would have gone home this way.
You don't want to go on the funny curved road?
You could go in an alleyway, too. That's possible.
You don't want to meet Garrison Calabash?
And there you have it. As you can clearly see now... Oh.
Stupid boy.
My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms.
Oh, damn.
To your future career in the circus.
That's a good reaction.
That's a reaction image, yeah.
He got your ass, he did! You put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you, so
God.
Sato Mikatoba can back drink like you would never guess!
Siv, you gotta like tilt your mic or your head from it, because whenever your spit hits on a plosive, it sounds like your finger bumping into the microphone.
I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused was coming home from Your Books instead of Bourbon Books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed.
That's fair.
Yes,
Yes.
fuck.
Okay.
Thank you, Inspector.
Allow me to reiterate for my learned friend, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend.
Ow.
Wherever the man purchased these musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Did you hit your back on that pillar?
As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try.
What'd I say, eh? I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon, terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that?
Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up. Is this any better, by the way?
Yes. I heard another plosive in there, but,
Well,
what do
goodness.
you mean?
If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
Yeah, that's better. She's absolutely right.
We must think. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
They claim Saseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from your books, but I feel like he probably did go that way because he said he was trying to pass her on the street and she was walking in that direction. I'm gonna leave it. I think I'd better leave it alone for now.
The defense has no rebuttal here.
Mr. Naruhodo, as I said before, we can't give up here. We must fight back.
Yes, I realize that, but sometimes the best way to fight is to do nothing, you know. You're right, what am I talking about? Doing nothing won't get us anywhere. Wasn't sitting right with me anyway. You idiot. Oh. It's fundamentally flawed. Okay, what? Okay, whatever.
Huh.
Explain yourself, Count.
Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable... Yeah, I guess I should act like a real shitty lawyer. That isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection. Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way around. On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home?
Well,
The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
Objection! But... yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask...
We could just ask him.
We must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home.
I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such a questioning. He claims to have no recollection. That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. That's insanity.
I don't believe this!
I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject.
I tried, man.
Yeah.
Pray, what say you, insightful jurors?
But even if that's the case, it's still...
Oh.
Yeah, see, this would just piss them off. That was what I was thinking.
I agree with Lord Van Zeeks, wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Does this mean...
We members of the jury are completely convinced now.
Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, they got it.
Guilty.
Oh, I think Popeye's Irish.
That is a fucking hilarious, like, unnecessary, like, having not seen the previous trial, giving them all little firework buttons that shoot into one side of the flaming scales of justice. It would appear the jury's leaning is unanimous and fucking lit.
To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry we took a penalty on you for no reason. No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow.
Those are the eyes of Quarry, not yet willing to give up and die. So, I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial?
Literally, why would anyone ever not do this?
Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago.
Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses.
If it so chasten. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper, and his onkus refusal to throw in the words.
Very well, then. Onkus indeed. Ladies and gentlemen of the jonkus, you will each explain on what gronkus you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
They call me
Onkus is the
Donkus
sound-
Gronkus.
Onkus is the sound my gavel makes. Onkus. For pity's sake. That little Nipponese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, I can only have been the victim.
Man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
I really don't care. Can we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. Yeah, guilty, kill him.
Your books, yes. I'd shop that. But bourbon books? No, not worth a visit.
With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear.
When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already.
Oh dear. Even the judge appears to be convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now.
Why did he have to run away like that? And how are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible! How can I possibly make a case for the defense? Mr. Naruhodo, please lower your voice.
No!
Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling.
Actually, it might be better to grumble rather than to yell.
If we want to force the trial to continue...
Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. I must make the jurors change their minds. Well, 4 of them, at least.
Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward. Bonkers.
You have the floor, counsel. Begin your summation examination.
Yes, my lord. Ow.
Did they do this in the previous trial?
Yeah.
Yep.
I just need to keep this trial going somehow, whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke. You can do it.
Oh, you know what? It was Van Zeek's because he turned into mist.
I used my backdash ability. Okay, the only one that caught my attention was Piff. Okay. I would like to press you.
Sorry, fold it, you say? Fold what?
No. What I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often?
I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. It's my daily routine, you see. Same thing. Hey, wait, I'm wearing green and quite rotund. Hold on a moment. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question?
Well, I was picking out books and they're all afternoon, and it would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. I go about killing young ladies dressed like me. I can be the prettiest person in London if I get rid of the rest. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about.
Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time?
Oh, yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry, not after the dreadful time I had.
Some awful little man pushed me back on the street, and he put this in me.
Turns knife.
Knife.
Stock gasp effect.
What do you mean?
Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head.
Then I split into 2 people.
I hatched like a chrysalis.
I hatched like one of those Russian dolls. It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did.
I really thought my number was up.
Wait a minute.
This is so stupid.
Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road.
But it did. I live in Corn Pub, you see.
That's the name of the large shoe.
Yeah.
Heading down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books.
Juror number 6. I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant.
Sorry, extremely sick. Oh no, I'm quite alright now.
Unless you're talking
His hat
about
is
my
actually hiding
skateboard moves.
His hat's hiding the bump on his noggin.
This doesn't matter. I mean, okay, it's pretty obvious what happened, but let's see. I'm not 100% sure how to get there. Maybe, no, god damn it.
Well, this guy is saying he wouldn't have gone another way. Or, no, yeah, okay, yeah. It can only have been the victim, but that guy just said he collapsed on, yeah.
Yeah, Calabash, okay.
So you pit her against the Santa?
Yeah, I think I want to press her first. Because I want to check if there's different words.
You're right that at the time of the incident, the defense admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him.
Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, that funny little Nipponese man with a disturbing moustache is the culprit.
But let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman.
Oh, innocent. Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward. Honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes.
But if that's a lie, as you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible?
Oh, I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign.
Foreign.
I was gonna get off on the charge of stabbing that woman, but they said I was too foreign.
Joke for no one.
A joke for attendees of Sunny Straits panel at Anime Midwest 2015.
God, was that long ago?
Yeah.
You're all foreign.
Who's to say what goes through your funny little minds?
I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it.
You should kill her.
I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one could have possibly committed this. No one could have committed this crime. She had a conniption.
She was faking it.
If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple.
Yeah.
Oh my, you are too silent, my lord.
That went well.
Belches? Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's pit them against each other then. Throw her in the. Oh, wait. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Objection. Those two statements clearly show... Uh-oh, that's generic looking. A flaw in the juror's reasoning.
No? What are you talking about, counsel?
Well, juror number 2, juror number 6.
Oh, my, whatever do you mean, sir?
I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable, it's not like something. There is at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop...
Seeing someone's lower half of their body in court. Impossible.
Yeah. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles. He then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Lucky we got this juror, huh?
Yeah, no shit.
Yes, we are all well aware of all of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Can we really be sure of that, madam?
My, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my.
My goodness, you mean...
That's right. I'm referring, of course, to the hard-of-hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victims.
Look at that.
My goodness me.
Sorry, you need a pee?
And crucially, forgive me, if this court...
Prime Magoo's blue canoe!
If this court is offended by my racehorse pissing, please forgive the discourtesy. We know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
On Calabash Road.
Therefore, if the person who saw Mr. Natsume... Oh, if the person... I'm getting more dyslexic the more I read this game. If the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly the crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home.
Oh my.
You idiot old man, if you hadn't been so deathfish me roaming out there, we'd have boxed this over together.
Really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
It's a nice coat.
What did you say to me? I love my green coat. Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days, huh? Is it a crime to slip over on the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it?
It is a crime. Double guilty.
Oh.
My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You would like to change your leaning, I presume?
No, I want to strangle juror number 6. I do declare that I would. I would like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you.
And I would too.
What?
Is it a crime to change your mind, is it? Well... Bonk.
Oh, calm down, I forgot what's happening.
Bonk.
Bonkus.
Well, I don't want her flame next to mine. Get it out.
I say bonk now.
I say bonk now.
Now.
Oh,
Oh, well done. No.
I'm so excited for that video. Well, we've managed to change a couple of minds at least. It's strengthened our position somewhat.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm reading this comment in chat. Jurors can kill each other to get extra votes.
Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider the stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if only we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume, we might be able to tip the balance completely.
Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do. Van Zieks is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion.
That's what we have to prevent by whatever means we have at our disposal.
Thank you, Counsel. On with the summation examination, please.
No! Guilty! Okay. Okay, let's see. For pity's sake, he admitted it. Well, it could have been that old man. It's only right. Why would... I mean, he did, though. We just... Poor woman was attacked from behind. Was she? It's definitely not that. Okay, that doesn't help at all. Let's talk to this guy.
Well, I mean, the only thing I could think of is that they keep on saying that he tried to pass her, but never if it was from behind or the front. Like, were they coming towards one another, or?
Well, yeah, if they were coming towards one another, they would have eventually passed. So he wouldn't have, he wouldn't have needed to struggle.
I think that means he was walking behind her.
Yeah.
But you can't deny there are other routes Mr. Natsume could have taken back from your books.
Oh yes, like you drew on the map, you mean? What was it, Calabash Road or something?
Precisely.
But it seems to me that what actually counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not.
Well, yes, that's true. Have you been listening?
At the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there?
Well, yes, that's true as well.
As I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he?
Well, yes, that's annoyingly true.
Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you want to get home as quickly as possible.
Well, yes. Why is all of this true?
So really, the only thing that makes sense is he went home along Briar Road.
I'm supposed to be convincing you here.
I have given it a lot of thought, you know. I just didn't make up my mind on whim that he did it. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone the Calabash Roadway, it'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would.
Did one of my pieces of evidence update or something?
It seems like he's not interested in the fact that we're proposing he might have bumped into the green man. He wants to know why he would have gone that way.
Let's see what we got.
Something to do with him being a nervous man.
Okay.
Canterbury yearnings.
Oh my.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Maybe check his profile.
Oh, I forgot I can even do that. Actually, one more time.
His name is Baroque.
Alright, I don't think it's this. I also can't present these, so... okay. Woman was attacked from behind. Let's try this guy, because he doesn't say anything, so maybe I gotta talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
A man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes.
Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so's my family's.
After all, I'm the murderer. What?
Like you wouldn't understand, but a labourer like me can't afford to take time off.
Where are you from,
but
sir?
are they? And neither do the wife and kids.
Oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning to find out what he's doing. If you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and centre. We're after cheap labour to get their roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dusk till dawn, it is.
So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
Yep, then I popped up from the dirt and stabbed a lady.
Just to see if I could do it.
That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just round the corner from where it all happened. By that old bookshop it was.
What? Another coincidence? Who picks the jurors?
That's right, Meep Street it was.
Meep Street. I saw someone in chat call it Meryl Street.
Yes.
On the map, Mr. Nodohodo, there are only 3 named streets.
There are only 3 named streets in all of London.
Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please.
What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir, it's important. Please, sir, can I have some more?
Sure, fine, I'll do it then.
So I'm assuming he dug up the road between the 2 bookshops, which is why he had to go to Calabash Road way.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I like this mechanic. Those 2 statements are clearly at odds with one another.
At odds, counsel. Explain yourself. Please don't point it wasn't me, I swear. Hey, what? Oh, I was already getting down and dashing.
Well, juror number 3?
Oh, me, sir? What do you mean?
Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books, and on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Meep Street, making it impassable, unmeepable, which means that the defendant's route home, could not have taken him along almost pronounced it incorrectly there, I'm sorry. Could not have taken him along Meep Street and down Beep Road.
Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir?
Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? Must have made a good 2 yards and more of pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way.
So, the only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings.
Yes, I suppose he must have.
No, I suppose that must be right, eh?
Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But we see now that he had no choice.
Yes!
My Lord Judge, sir, if I may?
Yes?
I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. Attack.
Huh?
Kill.
What about you, sir?
Me? Well, all right then. There's a hole in the prosecution's argument. It should be filled in. That's what I say. You notice that half the time I'm Cockney and half the time I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah, you're really just going all over the world with this guy's accent.
Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion.
A rather large shift in accent.
The ayes 2, the noes 4. So the noes have it, not guilty they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Fuck
Objection. Just a little sip. Dar. Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection? Only to crush it in disgust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
It's been a long time since I've been charmed by the prosecutor's catchphrase, actually.
I like this guy a lot. I just wish he wasn't racist.
Lord Van Zeeks.
It seems I must retract my earlier remark.
What do you mean?
I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer.
Whatever do you mean?
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth.
Indeed, stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of pavement which you had excavated, sir.
That's right. Took me the whole day and they paid me a measly 2pence for it.
Jesus.
Wow.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all. I mean, it's a pretty significant hole.
In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor.
What?
Yeah, but so Becky's a fucking nervous
Also
wreck.
carrying books?
Why would you ever jump over a 6-foot hole in the road?
That is a construction site too. I'm sure the construction workers would be ecstatic about that.
People jumping across their work zone the whole day.
Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Hey, me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no.
What? Yes, you can!
And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
I wouldn't dream of it. All waste of time.
What is this OSHA you speak of?
No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway, so we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time.
6 feet?
Assholes.
The accused is no gentleman, as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
Is that true? Is it?
No.
I don't know where you're going with this. What was?
The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to the lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road.
Crushed in a single sentence with a lot of bullshit.
And, old man,
Cold man, you can talk.
you say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Gray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
How would I know?
He fell unconscious!
I can't say I remember you, daft fuck.
Objection. You don't remember? Come, Naruhodo, come on! Oh, it's easy. It's so easy to poke a hole in this stupid argument.
How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
I'll take that bet.
Yeah, we absolutely... Shut the fuck up. What are you doing? You've actually had, like, pretty good defense arguments until now, Zeke.
Ordar! Ordar! Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself.
My lord.
What the hell are you talking about?
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for.
Fucker?
I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about?
I think the sightseeing just began.
My lord.
Shut up, Sam.
The prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witness.
It's
yay.
next witness.
Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident. Oh, I thought there were 3 eyewitnesses, but no, I just read an extra word.
2 yards is well below the average jumping distance of a person. Why would you go for it, though? Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less. I wonder who the bad guy is.
The prosecution's next witness.
All right. No matter who Van Zeeks brings to the stand as his witness, no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing.
It's my dear old mum.
And
Come
I'll keep
along.
Oh, yes, dearie.
and I'll keep believing up to the very end, until this battle is over.
Also, like, what human looks at a 6-foot hole? Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Oh, hello. Obviously. Yes, yes. Roly beat. So, who's taking one of these guys?
I want to be the little princess.
Okay.
Constable Rowley beat, sir! Nothing to report on the street, sir!
And I'm Miss B. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say this young town's here. I'm this young town's hero's wife.
What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long.
You are super the murderer.
In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
Everyone in chat has been waiting for these two to show up. Just like, look at these Jello characters. No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired.
Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world.
Hey chat, how prevalent is that like Shakespearean dandy who showed up in this case? Because if he also shows up, then I should pass the policeman to Aram. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually. Not at all? Okay, great.
Aram?
Mr. Aramlaze.
Aram, you're on... We can't hear you if you're talking.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true. And they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights.
There are a number of items that on that list that
What?
don't sound like much.
He doesn't show up in this game ever again? Are you people kidding?
What's the point?
What's the point? He's just there. No. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago.
But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor.
And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beats?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rowley?
Constable Rowley Beats, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir.
What a great witness he's going to be. Oh, hang on, my crows are here. They want peanuts.
Oh!
Very
Yeah,
good.
I'm gonna go
Very
get a
good.
treat real quick.
I'm back. I had to
I
look
gotta
at
put
him.
shoes on. It's raining.
La, 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 la. Hey, chat. How's it going? You having a good time?
I'm also beer being.
So be it. So be our being. Bum, 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 bum. Huh.
I'm also gonna pee real quick while I'm up. No, guys, you don't need to run away. I'm just opening the window blinds.
It's
They're very
just us
skittish
and
still.
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking, chat. How you liking this game so far? I like this game a bunch. This is like strictly better than anything Ace Attorney I've experienced so far. To the point where I will say, I guess I did interact with the wrong parts of Ace Attorney. It's the same thing as like, I do not like Fire Emblem. But after we finished the Tellius games, which are the ones with Ike, I was like, all right, I guess what it is that there is a pair of really good Fire Emblem games and the rest are dog shit.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you and Civ both here?
I'm here. Civ is not.
Did Aram come back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool.
Well, let's see here. How does it feel to free balling carriers and all of them be racist? I don't know. It's very unfortunate it keeps happening. I don't want it to. And I keep like get like when the word onkus showed up, I'm like, is that I don't know. Is that a bad word?
I mean, it's fine. You're just performing a character.
According to... I won't pretend, as much as I'd love to burnish my reputation, I won't pretend to have ever heard the word onkus before, but according to dictionary.com, adjective, Australian slang, unpleasant, unattractive, or unacceptable. Bad.
Okay.
Civ is hunting food. Let's just... Civ will come back in when Civ comes back in.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this does feel important. We should probably wait for Civ.
I like that he keeps moving and she doesn't move an inch.
Now, the real way to make this God, crows. My friends, the crows outside my house, are so cowardly. Anytime a blue jay or a squirrel come by to also feed on the peanuts, the crows just fucking bolt. They're so scared. And I mean, in fairness, blue jays are pretty aggressive, but still. All right. Nah, you know what? Civ miscalculated. I'll just be both.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rowley was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, 2 silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other
Scattered. Oh, books.
Then the other scattered something before running off. We
Objection! You were outside. It couldn't have been the floor. It would have to be the ground.
I'm the murderer. You got me. We ran straight over, of course, and then we went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man on the dock. Rowley and I both saw him clear as day.
Oh, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear. This policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death null, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate chancing, and on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that.
God doesn't exist in Ace Attorney, only ghosts.
What about the goddess of law?
Gosh, the life of a London bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to the rest of this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was, without doubt, the accused, Mrs. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So, you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Oh, wow.
Except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes,
I'm back.
my lord.
Hi.
Hi. We already did the cross-examinations opening.
That's okay.
Chat keeps mentioning the two of them are wearing the exact same scarf. Like, literally the same one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway, 2 silhouettes appear in the fog.
I hope it's in the most literal sense, in that it's one giant scarf wrapped around.
Yes, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Scattered something. What do you mean by that?
So, real quick before I give this line, has it been discussed the idea that the love note that the other guy had was from her to the other guy?
No. You missed like 3 lines of dialogue.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling? Didn't we, darling?
What? Oh, yes, that's right. It was some old books.
I see. Old books. Guilty.
Yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, it's clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did what he did when he did the deed.
And I think from her initial testimony, I think she's a little sparklier than you're making her voice.
Okay.
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was the man in the dark the mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes.
I would never describe his eyes as cat-like. They're so weird.
The top mouth, the snub nose, everything.
Any more? Oh, okay.
That's right. He looked down at poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife?
Yes,
Yep,
yes,
for what?
we get it.
Now, please,
May I remind you, blue lives matter.
By the way, have I mentioned I'm racist?
Yes. Okay.
Even better, not only are they a policeman and his wife, they're perfect Aryan specimens.
All right, Vancy. So we're just gonna. All right. So I'm clear as day. Yeah. Okay. Let's press that. Chat. This policeman definitely gets banged. But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
Absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Not a public, honey, please.
Rock-a-bye, baby, on the meat-top.
On.
Oh, he's never top. Are you kidding me?
On the she's top.
There you go.
Yes, and what of the fog?
They're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, all right, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
My what? The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. We've installed stars into them. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw.
You can unscrew our eyes with a standard Phillips head. That's why they're that shape.
Can't we, darling?
What? Yes, it was the accused, and no mistake. The moustache, unmistakable, sir.
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. Okay. That's it. That's an entire testimony. What do you think, Mr.
What you thinking?
To admit, but hearing the testimony, it seems like they're doing that. So I feel the same. So if that's true, where does it leave us? Members of the jury. Oh no! What do we do?
There must be a contradiction.
Okay. Okay, so don't. Oh, wow. Yep. Still going, huh? Okay.
Ah, my pie!
was our wedding anniversary. Objection! You're not legally married.
Actually, we are legally married. We're step siblings, so it's legal.
No!
It means we can get married if we want!
So deeply annoyed. Okay, so they definitely saw him. Yeah, let's talk about your wedding. Talk about it.
I destroyed.
Oh yeah, I feel like most of chat deserves an explanation. Over on Surprise Round RPG, Aram plays Trails. What is it? Trails from Zero. Trails from Zero, which is part of the Trails series, which the writer of which does a pretty good job for the most part, but has like this absolutely egregious stepsister fetish, and he like hammers it in all the time, and this game kind of doesn't have it. And then we were going undercover with 2 characters, and it was like, what should our cover be? Let's be siblings. And we immediately were like, oh no. And then one of them was like, we're step siblings, we could get married. I'm like, and we got so angry. No time to change after work, you say. Are you also a member of the police, Miss Beat? Mrs., excuse me.
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply. I've got
I'm just a strapping young woman in the bedroom.
Stop. Someone else in chat strapping. Well, I think you can probably see why the children and the elderly can't do the job. What? I think you can probably see why the children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rhodey looks ever so handsome in his uniform. Suits you down to the ground, doesn't it, darling?
You heard me. Get on the ground.
I don't like this. I really don't.
Fair enough.
What? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
I know, Rowley. I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes.
That sound.
Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir, yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble, because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure. So, fighting crime doesn't appear in that book. But, I was just guessing, I don't know what he said. Doesn't appear to come into it then. But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beats puts up with a lot being married to a party. I hate how right chat was. Like me, I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, his eyes are sparkling too, I didn't notice. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rowley. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
You see, we had to lie. What actually happened was we were skipping down the street with our long single couple scarf, and we accidentally
clotheslined
we accidentally clotheslined the woman, and she fell right onto the knife that she had in her pocket. If a little over the top, perhaps. Naruhodo's just like, straight people.
And then kindly describe what happened next.
In chat, they're disgusting.
Alright, maybe we can press that the other person they saw wasn't, we can say that the other person they saw was the juror. 2 silhouettes. Damn.
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction.
Someone in chat's right. Their names together spell patrol beat.
Yeah.
That's cute.
There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man.
I don't think I'd call him scrawny and thin.
Scrawny, no.
That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Does it? He's not scrawny.
Uh,
Short, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, that's a dead ringer.
And you're certain that at that time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling? Isn't that right?
Oh, yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground, but Briar Road is dead straight and you can see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's a street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrian.
Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you've just said?
Yes, sir. As a copper who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir. As I'm sure, as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly. Wouldn't it be funny if we're charlatans and we're not actually in love or something? Wouldn't that be fucked up?
What if there were two people in love on the moon? Would that be fucked up or what?
What if there were two people in love and they dropped him from a blimp and teleported?
They're still maintaining that there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must really be how it happened.
it's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
Okay. They were scattered something. I think we did this one already? Yeah, I didn't do this one yet. Let's talk about the police box. Was it your husband who went to fetch help get?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I'm the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling? I am your wife!
What? Oh, yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. B to go. I was off duty by that point. But a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Depends on a crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't exactly on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There is nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't he, darling?
No. Yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir. Goodbye.
Let's move on, shall we? Okay, I'm not really sure what to attack. Oh, there we go. Okay, it was oppress everything.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it!
What? No. Oh, no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything, like...
I love this music.
Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one. I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is.
Jesus, chill.
Oh, that was...
It won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of.
I could stab him in the back right now!
Oh, go get him. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rhodey
She
will.
goes over to the evidence box. Oh, my knife! I was wondering where that got.
I really didn't. If I caused offense, please forgive me. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fists down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat? Might that appease you?
I love appeasement.
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling?
Assault with a deadly spouse in chat.
Okay.
The names of 4 books.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was only 3.
All right.
Hey, you dumb bitch.
Ooh, which piece of evidence? I mean, it's probably this one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try it.
Objection.
So, you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, A Meal for Someone, and the Thingamy Something.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat, but there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What flaw?
Die.
Simply that at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books.
What? No! That can't be! I saw them! Oh, I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me!
Sorry.
It's that big old lump of a dead body. The lady's so large, her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book, that's all.
Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size. No, I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But Mr. Natsume could not possibly have dropped the 4 books you describe.
Why not?
Fascinating. And from your assured tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume.
Ah, evidence. Nope.
After all, you will present evidence to substantiate your claim, or withdraw it. What proof do you have that the accused did not drop 4 books?
The rare lantern and the ink evidence order that I got correct. That's...
Oh yeah, showing the photo before and then showing this.
Yeah. The later games do tend to be a little bit nicer about having actual special dialogue for presenting the, secondary ones. Some of them actually very rarely have a branching path that skips dialogue.
Yeah, they did that in Trials and Tribulations. There's a bit on the first day of that trial where you have to prove whether or not it was still snowing when the murder happened, and you have a weather report that says it was. And if you present that, Francisco's like, weather reports are often wrong. And you're like, fucking what? And then you have to present a photograph that shows there was no snow on the corpse's body. But if you present that photo first, it just entirely skips that part and moves on, and you don't get fucked, which is very nice.
The evidence is...
According to chat, you can present them in either order, apparently.
Good.
Oh, okay.
So that's the kind of game design. That's the type of shit that makes the investigation games so bad. The fact that they didn't design... For real.
Yeah, you're right.
I rewatched all the first Miles is on Fire cases because I was looking for Agent Lang names to make sure we didn't reuse any. And man, oh man, there are so many instances of that. The evidence is right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt. This receipt details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day, but as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
No!
Therefore, Mr. Natsume would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madam, cannot be relied on. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no!
Oh, I am actually a miss that's taken. I'm happily married.
God, it's not just the Phoenica design. I'm also a sucker for patchwork fabric.
Yeah, patchwork.
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my Nipponese friend.
What?
What cannot be denied is that these two witnesses saw the accused running from the scene, a fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair?
He sees right through me.
But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you.
What are you talking about?
It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast.
Puts toast in mouth, runs to school.
Yeah, I'm going to be late. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
Did you remove evidence again, you fucker?
I did not yet. You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
The final book is in the shape of a knife.
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right. Only 3 books can be seen in that print.
That print? You mean to say...
Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand.
Come on, man.
Okay, game. That's pretty stupid.
She bited
But
her?
also... Oh, it's burnt.
Oh. Well.
Me when I try to draw a book and forget how weirdly hard it is to draw books. I don't believe it. It's the 4th book.
As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
No. No!
Order.
Order.
There, you see? You see? Look at that. Look.
Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
Yes, sir. Patricia's always
Ma'am.
right, sir. Oops, sorry, I skipped that. Didn't mean to. Going back, there we go.
Let us study the receipt. Is that how we're pronouncing it?
Recipit.
My apologies. Please pardon this discourtesy. Let us study the recipit for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question.
I don't remember where Recipit came from. It's somewhere in the Miles is a robot playthrough late. It's not making it into the final cut, so that's just gonna be for us.
Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. One moment. I have a burp. It's not coming out.
Grabs husband's hands, punches her own stomach.
Raleigh burps instead. Okay, I'm better now.
Good enough.
You see,
Yes, of
we
course.
wear this scarf because our gastrointestinal tracts are actually connected and we need to hide it somehow.
It's a lot less gross than an umbilical cord or something.
That's
Why
right.
to stop talking? Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur Scooby-Doo.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
Lecoq.
It is little.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury yearnings.
And a meatloaf for somebody.
A meal for Gabrineau, in fact.
Gabriel.
Gabaroo. For
Gabba-dee-dabba-die.
and a meal for Boomba. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details.
Did you know Goomba will be played by Rob Schneider?
Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
It's me, Mario.
Wahoo! Where's my
Did you hear
paycheck?
that, Rolly? We're gonna stop talking about that bad man right now.
Yes, sir. Flaws, sir. That's what that bad man has.
Patricia is flawless, but there are only 3 books on the Recipit,
And Mrs. Beat mentioned 4. Oops.
There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print.
So, Counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the recipient?
It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim.
The victim was holding her own book.
I wonder, what became of that 4th book?
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard.
It was overbooked.
Oh, he's funny. I like him. He's white.
Oh, but... Oh, but on that note, we did lose it, actually.
I have it here as evidence.
And I've repaired it with the power of hell.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, is there not a giant comical bite taken out of
It's
it?
a burn mark because she got it from Moon and Sun Man or whatever.
Pray, please forgive the discrepancy.
I've... Like a bird feeding its young, I regurgitated the burnt portion to repair the book.
If my
pleasure.
I was gonna go so much worse. Ignore me. Keep going.
My pleasure, my lord.
I'm literally here grinding my teeth.
If my baby bird, like my brain wanted to do something like, if my baby bird regurgitation causes offense, please forgive the discourtesy. But then I was like, how can I make that worse? And the autofill was, if the evidence popping out of my cloaca causes offense, please.
I knew it was cloacas, you motherfucker! I can't go half a year without one of these clowns
Invite the
bringing up
defense
cloacas.
to sup upon the wine.
No!
The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add.
Someone chat, you bitch! What?
You seem surprised, my learned friend, but your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious, longer route to the accused's lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we've said is true.
Ooh,
Isn't that right, my darling?
I heard a snap that time.
Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat.
So,
Hold on a moment.
so, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Whoa, calm down there, sir. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think, what do you do now?
I
Can you
mean,
look at your court record right now?
Yeah, we did just
'Cause,
get
like-
some new evidence, didn't we?
are the names that
Oh, this
she
is-
listed off?
This was the book from,
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name's house? Yeah.
Well, can I open it?
Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages.
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me?
I don't think we can use that right now, though, because that's not connected.
Is there a way to look at the photographs, the names of the books, the other three, I mean? Because do they actually match up with what?
Yeah.
I think they're just presumed to because the photo doesn't actually
the photo
show the
doesn't
text.
Okay.
I don't think that I have anything with like clearly we know where this is going, but I think it's too many leaps for right now. I'm gonna wait and see again. I should just keep quiet now and see what happens.
Well, appears the defense has no objection at this juncture, in which case...
No, you're not clear! Stop making me do this!
Okay, goodbye.
Yes, I realize that. Which is why I decided to let the sweat drip from my trembling brow in silence. You're so right, sorry! Oh no!
I don't like that.
I don't either.
I don't know why they put that in, instead of just having you be like...
The problem is they just did one that was, like, ultimately completely pointless, so it didn't, like...
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, like, from now on, we just always object.
If I may, Lord Van
Which is
Zieks.
dumb.
Ah, Susato is gonna say something, which means we didn't need to object.
Yes, so what would have happened is that we would have tried to come up with nothing and she would have taken over. I'm sure thematically it's trying to be like, you should always fight for your defense, but like, you shouldn't. You shouldn't always raise an objection if you have nothing in a court system where the jury's opinion of you matters.
And they're racist.
Just a tip, always press forward. Okay, I maintain that is stupid.
Yep. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene in a moment like this.
You bitch, I use Pro Tools!
You bitch!
I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable. Your vibes are essential and your experience is invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo!
One of this land's great guiding principles is
tolerance. The entire gallery laughs.
So the court will hear you, madam.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Miss Susato, please.
No!
Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us?
To be fair, you only don't object if given the option like twice in the entire main series. Deeply not true. You do it at least 2 or 3 times per game, and almost always in the 4th case, because that's the point where you've been told to like do the obvious. You should always press forward. So at that point, they're trying to trick you, which is why I'm like so adverse to doing it right now. Especially because...
What have we...
Yeah, whatever. You guys all agree with me. I don't need to keep pressing the point.
Yeah. What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. I'm going to explain how this game works again, so we must take this opportunity to go. Could do it.
I mean, they're giving me text boxes to check the evidence, so I can't really fault them. Yep, I got it. I saw. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Oh! That's his exclamation mark sound like Jesus.
Give it. Evidence that does a thing.
My armband!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the... Thank you for allowing me to present both of them. From the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. Very rare that they're nice enough to make the photo of the evidence and the evidence viable. Looking at you, DLC case in Spirit of Justice, you horrible fuck.
We have already discussed the fourth book at length.
Oh yeah, if anyone ever plays Spirit of Justice, which you should, it's my favorite game in the mainline series, don't get the DLC case. It's just bad. It also has Maya as your assistant instead of Raifa or Athena, so it's real bad. And Larry Butts is in it.
Oof. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know.
Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, that I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue.
The first clue?
The first clue? So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, yes, my lord. It's,
Get it? Get it? I believe the prosecution is trying to do something, which means that you very well you get it.
Yes, I think I may get it.
Damn it, he gets it!
So, counsel, precisely how will you get it?
Why are you making me do this? I most certainly must have already checked this. Oh, right. Sorry, I gotta present it, not click it.
Got it! I got it!
He's got it!
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
Back? What do you... Oh, good gracious! It's been burned to a crisp!
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Oh, this is quite right, okay.
What's my opinion on the DLC case of Dual Destinies? I actually really didn't like it when I played it, but I've kind of warmed up on it in retrospect. It's got a good cast, and it's I guess I don't want to spoil it. It has a rare condition of, like, regarding the murderer, which I don't think any other case in the series has, which is kind of neat.
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend?
Oh, we're friends?
I mean, kind of. Like, don't tell anyone. Were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss.
Yes, we are friends. That's why I'm allowed to say terrible things about your miserable island. So I can say, oh, I can say that. I've got a Japanese friend.
So, should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day, pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book have?
So, just a quick question. Does it not hurt him to say pray all the time? Shouldn't he be bursting into flames?
All right, I'll explain my theory.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Now that you've got it, we want it.
Get it?
I was gonna say, yes, I can say pray as often as I like, so long as I clench.
Okay. So what can we ascertain from the fire damage? We know it was in Goodnight Moon's house. So would it be the owner?
I think so, because that's the only thing that the fire tells you.
It's not its content.
Out
I'm
of
just
these
trying
three.
to.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember if, like, the guy mentioned it's the bookshop and we're supposed to know that.
My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon?
But we already know who took the book, who it belongs to. It's hers. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers.
Sounds like you're blowing into a jug.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers.
Good gracious! How can you possibly?
Very well. I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial.
Will you raise an objection?
Dude, look at the fucking lighting on Strongheart or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a good guy!
I really do hope he's a good guy, because, like, that would be funny.
That would be very funny.
Man, I won't lie. Strongheart is very handsome.
Oh, he fine.
Okay.
He's the pride Lionheart of this.
Yeah.
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb.
The landlords?
And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know. But, of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty is in this courtroom today. Insane jury selection, by the way. It's none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself.
Oh my goodness me! Oh, I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garadeb's wife. I'm his maid.
Deeply sad. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. All right then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house?
I would never presume to know all of the books he keeps, sir.
Objection. This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say. You implicate this hard-working member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence.
You accuse her without evidence of being part of the property-owning class?
Your actions are unforgivable. Oh.
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house.
Good Lord, what sort of incident, Counsel?
A fire, my lord.
Good night, Moon.
Great to say it was. Happened at the blink of an eye, you know. The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. Bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride.
Ooh, that's a new one.
The Lion's Pride.
Jonathan Joestar.
Oh?
Catcher in the Rye. By Jove, the very same title that's the subject of this debate.
Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, dear me!
A book about burning books. How ironic.
This is risible?
Risible.
Yeah.
Is it really? Oh, okay.
Risible.
I think it's risible.
Yeah, it seems more like risible. This is risible. All you've told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire.
I'm probably wrong, but I always read it as risible because I thought it was in reference to this is liable to get a rise out of me.
Oh, that makes sense. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes.
No, it's pronounced risible. We just decided.
And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime.
Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going...
Oh god, yes, it all makes sense now. Give up.
Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garadeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garadeb even amid the flames. Oh yeah, she threw it out into the street. I forgot.
Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love. Can you, Rolly?
Yes, punches her.
Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir.
Man, a lot of... I'm also deeply weak to, like, unproblematically lovey-dovey couples. Big fan of, Ron DeLight and his wife, too.
Yeah.
Got all my favorite old novels in that case. But as soon as the fire got hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! Up in smoke.
I like how if Aram's ever caught off guard while voice acting, he just sputters like a lawnmower.
Making up lost time.
then the wife started hurling things at me.
I hate you so much.
Hurley? Isn't
back
that
up
what
against the
Iris
window.
calls Sherlock Holmes?
Under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books coming 10 to the dozen. Man had his back up against the window, and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection, that is fucking lunacy.
That's actually the way less coincidental than the jurors we pulled for this trial.
Sure is.
That is the only reason it's believable now. No, a thorough investigation surrounding the area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there is no report of the Garadab's window pane being broken.
It was just open. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garadab household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time? Okay.
Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter.
You know, that's what I thought, and then I went to a school where people left the window open in the dead of winter and, like, right across from the communal showers in my dorm hall, and I almost died of hypothermia.
Does the defense postulate this scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garadeb's wife?
Yeah. I believe it is. I believe it's a possibility, my lord.
That's quite enough.
I want to guess it's the wife. Yeah.
That's quite enough. Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. Oh, great, another one. I'm just so fucking lucky.
The original voice you were doing was a
little more soft. She was so round and her eyes were always...
It's very similar to the voice I'm doing for the policeman, actually.
Oh, yes. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. You're a mean coward.
Really?
Claiming that our little tiffs the whole neighbourhood alike, honestly.
Didn't say that.
Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case. Not any of it. All you've done is sully your family's name.
Rum, tomato voice.
No, I assure you that was never my intention.
Dragging an upstanding citizen's name through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defence.
Ow.
Ow.
I should box your ears. That's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
Too right.
Here we go.
How long have we sat here listening to this Nipponese spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache, and he ran away from the scene too.
I do declare you're right.
It's true.
Yes, what did I tell you?
Makes sense to me.
Sorry, what's that?
Are we literally going to be able to continue the
Well-
case only because he can't hear what's going on?
It would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zeeks?
Missionary.
In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage.
No! Wait! The mystery of the fourth book still oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Pray.
Keep trying to interrupt him. Do that again.
Pick a garden, pray.
If books are your predilection, my learned friend, study them on your own time. I have a cramp.
What? No, forgive the discourtesy this time?
No,
In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
I heard him, my leggy.
you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Oh shit, all of them again?
Zeke's only does this because he knows Naruto is gay as fuck.
Thank you for that unambiguous response.
It was quite
now.
strange once that young man came to court. Suddenly Van Zyke started acting very erratically.
My lord, it is erotically, thank you.
Naruhodo, every time I see you, I am burdened with unnecessary feelings.
Pray, please forgive.
If it pleases the court, I will show new evidence which I have kept on the ground
In my pants.
behind me. Allow me to bend over and pick it up.
Pray, please forgive the erection.
You hear a pounding on the desk, but nobody's moved. What is that, Naruhodo? Sorry.
God.
Naruhodo, don't give up.
Hey! Have you forgotten what we're doing here?
Tell me, can you get it?
Okay, shut up. Don't you use my words like that. That's not what I meant.
Slams his leg on the table again.
Shut up!
I just
The
picture
battle isn't over yet.
Aram, Will, and I like running around the stage like obnoxious Muppets doing this joke, and Civ in all his asexuality looking at the camera like a beleaguered Kermit, like, oh my god.
This is my personal circle of hell right here.
You're not suggesting.
Of course. The defense has the right to another summation exhumation at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense, I want to do it again.
You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve?
I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined.
What if I stick both my leggies up? Ah!
Well, then what are you standing on? Oh my god!
Pray.
Forgive the discourtesy.
I cannot imagine a more threatening situation than when seeing a massive dick, the owner just says, pray.
What do you do at that point? That's all you can do.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to drop out for a stream that's going on stabbing us. Enjoy the case.
I think we might actually call the stream there. That seems like a fair place to do it. And
Yeah.
I also have some other shit to do today that I have not done yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's right. We got to watch Bake. Although we should probably wait until Aram's done.
Oh, that
with.
was absolutely not. I have actual shit I need to do tonight.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'd be
we
up
have
for
to
it later
save Jake
this
till, like,
weekend,
way
perhaps.
out. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, I'm gonna drop out. Talk to you guys later.
All right, I'm gonna raid Piff again. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. The horrible image I have of Venseeks putting one leg up and then the other, and just a dick pole vaulting straight down and him balancing on it.
Like a fucking dragoon.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Someone in chat, if my schlong affair